Is it true that being a vegan or a vegetarian means that you're going to be healthier and live longer? Well, the answer is maybe. It depends actually on what you're doing. So, if you look to vegetarianism or veganism as a solution for all of your health woes and stuff, you could potentially reverse your medical illnesses that are related to food, which there are a very large number of. You could get off of some or all the medications that you're on. You could also increase your longevity and improve your mental health. But it depends on what you're eating. So if you're not eating a balanced vegetarian or vegan diet, then you are probably not going to reap the rewards that you would get from eating right. If you're, for example, if you're not consuming B12, the vitamin that everyone used to say came from animals, it doesn't. It comes from bacteria in the soil. But if you're consuming it, especially like if it's a crystal or sublingual or liquid, and you're getting enough sunlight every day, and you're exercising, so you get your heart rate up for at least 15 minutes a day, for a total, I think it's like 4 or 5 days, something like that. And you're eating a wide variety of fruits and vegetables. And in the case of vegetarianism, that means you might also be eating dairy, or you might be eating fish or seafood entirely, or you might be eating eggs, or you might be eating any combination or all of those. But the truth of the matter is that the single biggest step you can take to improving your health is to stop buying processed foods and to drastically reduce your consumption of restaurant food unless you can verify that what they're producing is produced in a way that is hygienic, promotes good health, and offers you the options that you need for your diet. And of course, you should consult your doctor. Now, when I say your doctor, I don't mean just a regular doctor, because most doctors get little to no training in nutrition, both in America and in other countries. What I mean is you need to have a doctor or a nutritional expert who can advise you on whether or not you're eating correctly. Now, I happen to be very fortunate. I have a great doctor. She also studied nutrition, so she can answer my questions. I also have a friend who's a retired doctor who also has decades of more of experience than my doctor, and also has a background in nutrition. But not everybody has that option. I also have the ability to sort out the crap from the truth. And not everybody can do that either. So, the first thing that you should do, aside from talking to a nutritional expert, in order to improve your health, is to stop the processed foods. Stop eating at the restaurants all this time. Stop buying the processed stuff that's in boxes and cans and jars and bottles and bags and so on and so forth, because that stuff is not good for your health. It's often high in sodium, high in fructose, and other types of sugar, and it has been combined in weird ways sometimes, or it's been exposed to contaminants such as bugs, as well as chemicals from the very container, if it's made of plastic, or maybe it's a plastic lined container like a can, and the list goes on and on. But more importantly, did they take something in order to make what you're eating and turn it into something that you would never find in nature? Now, I'm not talking paleo here. I'm just talking the difference between a processed food and a unprocessed food or whole food. Okay? So if you buy, and I'll give you a perfect example, I just reviewed these. If you buy fake chicken, now that chicken was made from something called soy protein isolate, which is basically, they took the protein out of the soybeans to create something that would have a texture similar to chicken, and hopefully not as well taste good. The problem is between that and the fact that they had to cook it and they had to add chemicals to help keep it shelf stable and so on and so forth, it's a fairly processed food. And that's not good. The more processed something is, especially if it's been designed to be addictive, because some people have food addiction, the more likely it is to cause health problems for you. And if you're buying like low-fat products that naturally would have more fat than what you're getting, the fat is being replaced with things like sugar and salt in order to cover up the fact that without that fat, the food doesn't taste good. And that's bad for you too. And that's why, since the government announced that we needed to cut down on fat, and a lot of people didn't understand that they were referring to saturated fat, and indirectly they were referring to meat, dairy, and eggs. Well, a lot of people just went whole hog and bought everything that was low fat, and voila, they got sick. Along with other factors like fructose. Now, fructose comes in table sugar and honey and molasses, coconut sugar, palm sugar, invert sugar, maple sugar, and a few other things. It also comes in syrups, of course. So fructose is processed by our liver and it's stored in our liver. So if you use table sugar is made up, it's called sucrose, but it's made up of two sugars. Glucose, which is stored in the skeletal muscles and one or two other places, and fructose, which is stored exclusively and entirely in your liver. Now, when I say exclusively and entirely, what I mean is that it's not stored in other parts of the body, and all of the fructose that you take in is stored. Now, if you use it fast, it's going to go out of your body, it'll be out of your liver faster. But what scientists have discovered is that eating a lot of fructose will result in fatty liver and can lead to cirrhosis of the liver, just like if you were consuming way too much alcohol. So, also, give a thought to salt consumption. How much salt are you getting every day? Are you taking in more than 2,300 grams or 2.3 grams every day? If you are putting yourself at risk for a lot of problems. Number one, you can cause yourself, between that and fat intake, you can cause problems wherein you're going to gain weight, because fat and salt together have this weird effect that plays in with uric acid, and that can lead to you gaining weight, not to mention getting diabetes and heart disease and gout, because your uric acid will go up. So you want to make sure you're not taking in a lot of salt every day, but you need to make sure you're taking enough. Now, everybody's different, and so you have to find out, with the help of an expert, what is the right amount of salt for you. And it's hard because when it comes to salt, whether when you're low on salt, it's bad for you. When you're high on salt, it's bad for you in different ways. Now, there's a lot more that I could tell you about how iron is poisonous if you get too much of it or you get the wrong kind of it. Iron from meat, dairy, and eggs is potentially dangerous, and it's inflammatory at the very least. So it's better to get iron from plants. Now, going back to what I was saying, if you're eating processed foods and you're getting too much fat, you're getting too much sugar, you're getting too much oils, because oils are high in calories, and you're getting all those things in your food on a regular basis, you're just asking to get sick. You're just asking to die, okay? So it doesn't matter if you're a vegan or a vegetarian or a pescatarian or an ovotarian or whatever it is, you're still going to have health problems. So it's extremely important that you cut out the processed foods and that you eat whole foods. So get apples and oranges and bananas. Get kale and cabbage and broccoli, cauliflower, carrots, whatever it is you like, but get a variety of colors of foods, and focus a lot of your attention when it comes to vegetables on the green ones, the leafy ones, okay? And not quite so much attention on the starchy ones, the ones that have a lot of confined sugar in it. But the same holds true with fruits, you want to get lots of fruits, but you do have to keep in mind that some fruits are better than other fruits. Nevertheless, scientific studies have demonstrated that if you get the same amount of sugar from simple sugars like table sugar and honey and stuff like that versus from fruits, this one is going to increase your chances of sickness and dying, and this one will decrease your chances of getting sick and dying. So eating lots of fruits is good for you. Now, there are some indications that too many calories in your diet can actually be bad for you, and there are people out there who have a calorie restricted diet, about 1900 calories per day, and these people are healthy as all get out, and they're going to live a long time. Well, maybe you can do that, maybe you can't do that, I don't know. But you do need to be careful that and understand that there's a difference between different calorie sources, and there's a difference between how fast sugar that you take in from honey enters your bloodstream and in what amount versus if it's wild rice or something else that has lots of fiber and stuff in it. So when you have a whole food that has sugar in it but also has fiber in it, that's going to enter your bloodstream, the sugar that is, slowly and over a long period of time. So it's kind of like, it delays the sugar rush. But when you use that molasses, it all goes in there really fast, so your blood sugar spikes, and then it drops, and you're like, oh my God, I feel so tired. And that's part of the reason why you have problems when you have meals that are too big. So, can you be healthy if you are on a vegan or vegetarian or pescatarian diet? Now, I don't recommend dairy, and I don't recommend eggs, and you need to be careful with fish. Not all fish are created equal, and we humans are overfishing the ocean. I mean, huge sectors of the ocean have been overfished, and we throw away at least 25% of everything that we catch on an industrial scale. So there's a ton of waste. In addition, because of all the pollution that includes things with mercury, DDT, PBTs, and so on and so forth, other toxins from pesticides, herbicides, and fungicides, from household detergents and all kinds of other stuff that we flush down the drain and gets out into the ocean somehow. Not to mention what's sprayed onto crops and everything like that and fed to animals. We're destroying the ocean. So if you can buy wild-caught fish that is from a sustainable source, that's going to be good. But if you're buying it and you're getting it from somewhere that's polluted, well, you're asking for some trouble, because that contaminated fish is going to hurt your health. So, you have to weigh the pros and cons about the fish. Are you concerned about the environment? Then probably should avoid eating fish too. But again, it's going to have to be up to you. If you're going to do the pescatarian diet where you're eating fish as well as fruits and vegetables, keep in mind, again, leafy green vegetables are top of the list. And then you've got the other kinds of vegetables and the fruits. And then you can have grains as long as they're whole grains. And you can also have nuts and seeds. But keep in mind that when it comes to nuts and seeds, you should have a lesser amount. Now, legumes you can have more of, but nuts and seeds you can have less of, because of there are certain challenges with them when you get too much, and part of it is about calories. And oil, and simple sugars, you should have very little, and too much salt, be careful. Okay? So, I hope that has helped to inform you to make your decision about whether you're going to change your diet. But keep in mind, don't call yourself a vegetarian or a vegan. Say that you're on a whole food diet, so you're avoiding the processed foods. Say that you are eating a plant-based diet, maybe plus fish or something. And that lets people know that you're on the right track. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.